If you're worried about the Duolingo English test's read and complete questions, well, today is your lucky day because we're going to do a lot of practice. We're going to go through read and complete together. I'll show you how to get the best score possible, and then I'll even give you a practice question to work on yourself. Sound good? Let's get started. Hello, I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Today we're focusing on read and complete. This is one of the more difficult questions in the Duolingo English test. Before we go on to our practice, let's do a quick review of what the question is all about. So in read and complete, you get a short paragraph and there will be some words missing. You'll see the first couple of letters of some missing words. Your job is to think, what is that word? And type that word in. This is an important question because it comes a lot in the DET. It comes between 3 and 6 times, so it's quite common. And you have 3 minutes altogether to complete each question. So when you do questions like this that come often, it's important to have a strategy. And we have a 5-step strategy for you. So the first thing is to read the whole passage and get an overall idea of what it's all about. Then step 2, you look at the word before the gap and also after the gap. And step 3, you have to decide, looking at what's around the gap, what type of word are you going to add? Is it going to be a noun or a verb or an adjective? You're thinking about the grammar. Step 4 is to type, try writing it in. And then step 5 is to read it again to make sure that it makes sense. So now we know what read and complete is all about. Let's work through one question together, and then at the end of the video, I'll give you another question for you to try yourself. So here's the question we're going to work on together. You can see it's a short paragraph and some missing words. Notice for each of those words, we get at least 1 letter, sometimes 2 letters, sometimes 3 letters. And our job is to add the rest of the letters. So let's do the first step of our strategy, and that's to quickly read the whole text and get an idea of what it's about, and maybe what style of writing it is. What kind of feeling does it have? Is it formal? Is it informal? Is it semi-formal? So I'm just going to give you 20 seconds. I'm going to put this on screen, and I want you to quickly read it. Don't worry about the spaces, the gaps. Just try to get a feeling for it. What is it about? What feeling does it have? Okay? Have a try at that now. Okay, very good. So I would say that this is it's semi-formal, and it is talking about heritage tourism and some of the benefits of heritage tourism. Okay, so now we know in general it's going to be quite positive, it's the benefits. It's going to be semi-formal, so we think about what kind of vocabulary is that going to be. It gives us a little starting idea. Then step 2, we're going to be looking at the words before and after the space. So if we look at the first one, we can see that it begins with H, and the next word is sites. So sites is a noun, it means place. So if this one is a noun, the one before it will probably be some kind of adjective. So now you're going to have a try with the rest of the words, and a few things to bear in mind, things to look out for. So you're thinking, is it a noun? And then if it is a noun, is it a single noun like one, or is it a plural noun like many? Or is it an adjective? Or is it a verb? And if it is a verb, could it be in the past tense maybe? Could it be in the future? Maybe it's in the ing form. Maybe it has an S at the end because it's the third person, like he goes, something like that. Or maybe it's an adverb, so it has an ly at the end. Or maybe it's just one of those little words that make grammar make sense. I call it a grammar word. Things like to, in, that, the, things like that. Okay? So I want you to have a look through and have an open mind. See if you can use the clues to decide what type of word you're going to put into each space. All right, I'm going to put this on screen. If you want to, you can pause and have a try, and then we'll come back and look at the answers together. So let's go now. Okay, so welcome back. So we've already decided number one has to be probably an adjective. Number two then, so it's traditions define a region's identity. So I think our best guess there is it's some kind of grammar word. It's something that is connecting traditions, which is a noun, and then define, which is a verb. So it's something in between those. Then number three, it allows to. So allow is a verb, and then to connect is also a verb. So this one really has to be a noun. But notice that we don't have an or an or the in front of it. So it's probably going to be a plural noun. It might have an S at the end. Then number four, we can use some words after to give us a clue. So here we have something and crafts. So we can guess that it says experiencing local, and then it's and crafts. So the the missing word will probably be also a noun. Crafts is a plural noun, so the missing word is probably another plural noun, and two things that go together. Then five, we can look at the whole sentence and get a feeling for this one. So it says, this type of tourism, not and then later it's going to say, but also. So we can think it's some kind of fixed grammar expression. And then finally, number six, we can see that it's in a sentence that's saying some good things about this tourism. And before there, we've got supports preservation efforts. And so because of the rules of English grammar, this one is going to be another verb, and it's going to be a verb also with an S at the end because it has to match with supports. So it supports something something and boo something something. So we really only need to get two letters there because we know the last one will be an S so that the whole grammar of the sentence makes sense. Now, a few things to say before we move on. So I am talking you through this quite slowly, just so you start to get these feelings and you make these connections in your brain. When you practice this a lot, this all happens much faster, because we've already been talking for quite a few minutes now. You don't have this much time in the real test, but it's important to start like this. You keep practicing, you get faster and faster, and then when you get to the real test, you look at the question, you go, okay, yeah, that's going to be a verb. Yes, that's a grammar word. That's an adjective. So the more you practice, the better you're going to be. And also don't worry if you don't have a clear idea for all of the words. Even if you just get some help for some of the words, you make it easier for yourself. That's going to be a big positive, and that will help your score. So the next step is to start typing. So we're going to use those first two or three or sometimes one letter that we have to try to have a guess at what these are. So for example, for number one, we can see it's sites. We know it's an adjective, and this is to do with tradition, heritage, seeing old things. So this one would be historical. Historical. So it's not history because that's the noun. We learned because it's the adjective that it should be historical. Okay? So that's number one. I want you to try to type the answers for number two through to number six. Okay? And then we'll look at the answers together. So again, I'm going to put them on screen. You can pause the video, try to actually get those full answers now, and then we'll go through it together. Have a try now. Okay, welcome back. Now, we're going to move into step 5 as we're doing step 4. Step 4, remember, is the typing. Step 5 is the checking. So I'm going to show you these completed answers, all right? You can see them on the screen now. And I want you to read through. So this person has answered the questions. They've done their best. But I want you to see if there are any mistakes, or have they gotten them all correct, all right? So just take 20 seconds. I'll put 20 seconds on the clock for you. Quickly read through and think, are these all correct, or are there any problems? Have a try of that now. Okay, so did you find the one that wasn't right? So almost all of them were correct, but there was a problem with number 3. So number 3, it allows transfers to connect with the past. Now, it starts with TR, so that's fine. It's the right number of letters, so that's fine, okay? But by checking and reading through the answer again, we can realize that it doesn't make sense. So it allows transfers to connect. Transfer is not like a real thing or a real person. Instead, we're going to say travelers. So the correct answer was travelers for this one. So let's quickly read through the rest of the answers then. So we know heritage tourism focuses on exploring historical sites, cultural landmarks, and traditions that define a region's identity. It allows travelers, as we know now, to connect with the past by visiting museums, monuments, and UNESCO World Heritage sites, or experiencing local customs and crafts. So those two go together, customs and crafts. This type of tourism not only, but also, educates visitors about history and culture, but also supports preservation efforts and boosts local economies. Supports preservation efforts, boosts local economies. So there we go. Those are the correct ones. Now I've got one more very important tip for you. I didn't include this one before, but let me tell you tip number 6. And that is that we must use American English spelling when we're writing these answers. So most of the time in the DET, for example, in your writing sample, in your interactive writing, you can use any type of correct spelling. So British English spelling is fine, American English spelling also fine. I suggest that you choose just one of them. Don't keep going between. But the important thing for questions like this one, and also fill in the blanks, you have to use American spelling, otherwise it won't be correct. So travelers, for example, in American spelling, only one L. In British spelling, it has 2 L's. And there are quite a few other small but important differences between American English and British English spelling. And you need to know these ones if you have studied in British English in the past, okay? You need to be prepared. So we put together a nice video all about this. The link is just up here. Some of the most common differences between British and American English spelling. And if you want to check that out as well, you can find the link here under the video. And while you're down there, if you're enjoying this video, why not like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future DET preparation videos. So now we've gone through a full read and complete answer together, it's your turn. I'm going to show you another question on the screen. I'm going to give you 3 minutes and I want you to try to complete it, okay? Remember the steps, remember to quickly look first, try to get an idea, think about the words before and after the space, try typing, and then read it again and think, is this correct? Or does it not make sense? All right? If you want, you can type your answers in the comments underneath here, or you can write them down on your paper, or you can just think them in your mind. But if you're thinking them, try to really say the letters so you practice your spelling as well. Remember that American English spelling. Anyway, enough of me talking. It's your turn. Have a try now. Okay, very good. So let's take a quick look through the answers. This is all about caving, going down into caves. So caving, also known as spelunking, involves exploring subterranean landscapes. Woo. If you spelt that correct, then very good job. So subterranean means under the earth. Subterranean landscapes and underground passages. Enthusiasts, that's people who like it, often venture into caves formed by water or volcanic activity to admire their unique rock formations. So unique, something special, and rock formations is the way that rocks look after, millions of years of the water changing them. Like stalactites and stalagmites. And one of those is like ice that comes from the ground and the other is ice that comes from the ceiling. I can never remember which one's which. This activity requires resilience, perseverance, and equipment to navigate safely. Caving not only allows participants to discover hidden wonders, but also, there's another not only but also promotes awareness of geological preservation. Okay, so there we go. 8 questions. I would love to know how many out of the 8 did you get correct? So let me know in the comments. Maybe you got 6 out of 8, you got 8 out of 8, 2 out of 8. Whatever you got, don't be shy. Please let me know in the comments so I can see just how hard that question was. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And remember as well, we have our full DET preparation course. If you want to score 120 or higher the first time you take the test and save all of that money paying again and again and again for the test, make sure you check out the course. The link is down here under the video. That's all we're going to do for today, but I suggest that your next video to watch should be that video about the American and British English spellings, because that's really important. It's so annoying if you get to the test and you think you've got the word right and you just don't know the American spelling of it. So make sure you check that out. It's down here under the video. I'm Francis from Last Minute English. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.